Hi guys, Sales Training Day, going to go over a couple little things. When Richard and I were sitting here discussing what are some ideas to go over, and he mentioned it's been a while since we went through confidence. And so I go over that a little bit. Remember, high energy, man, high energy. And if you don't feel it, fake it, pull it up, whatever it takes. Is it a shot of caffeine? Is it a song? For me, music lifts up. It can get in there. Play one in your head. I don't care what you have to do, but keep that energy up. I'm sitting here the other day and I'm at the gym working out. A couple little gals come in, parents, members, and just sweetest little things. But two little girls that run track from one of the local high schools. And I just said hi, and the whole place gravitates to them. I mean, we're talking two 15-year-old girls. Dingbat, sweet little things that they are, nothing here. And yet they dominate a place that at the time had about 8 people whose combined wealth was probably north of $500 million. And I exaggerate not. Very successful, powerful, wealthy, older men and women. And it's dominated by two 15-year-old girls. You know why? They were so bubbly. Their energy was so high. I see them and I say, hey, how are the track stars? And the one goes, sweat until we get there, yeah! And they're just funny, and they had great energy. They weren't smart. They had nothing super to say. There was no, oh, we stopped and talked and said a feet. And we laughed and said hi, and everybody, oh, hey, and I introduced to a couple people, and they went and did the little thing on the treadmill. Not relevant. The relevant part is this, is it was the energy. They came in happy, they came in smiling, they came in with energy, they came in willing to be humiliated, willing to screw up, not even realizing that was an option, just boom. It matters. It lights a room. People gravitate to it. They read to it. Yes, you've got to have some substance when you get there, or you will embarrass yourself. And most of us lose that energy somewhere along the line of getting kicked. Remember your energy, and remember how to keep it up, and remember what you have to do, and remember to lie to yourself when you need to. Whatever it takes to get it up. Because walking in kicked, walking in beaten, walking in with your dauber in the dirt, your fanny dragging, don't walk in. If that's what you have, don't walk in. It's just the truth. So always remember that wonderful little thing. Now, the second part that was more interesting to me is tips on problem solving. I don't know why, and there's probably some of you watching this going, you're an idiot, you're terrible at that. But at the same time, I have a lot of people that come to me for problem solving. It seems to have become pretty much my stinking job. I don't like it very much, by the way, so if somebody wants it, feel free to take it. But it is largely what I do, and I have folks that come to me with it. Sometimes it's work. Sometimes it's not even related to work. Sometimes it's vendors that need some assistance with things, lenders, all the time. And I don't know why it's hard for some folks. So I'm going to do my best to try to give some tips. One of them goes back, and this is old stuff, man. This is Stephen Covey. Seek first to understand. We're talking about problem solving. How in heaven's name can you solve the problem if you don't understand it? And more importantly, if you don't understand it from, and I'm not even going to say there, all perspectives. If you can't put yourself in another person's shoes, hire somebody else to do your problem solving. So learn how to empathize. Learn how to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Now, learn how to absolutely divorce your emotions. Borderline psychopath level. You have to absolutely put yourself into somebody's shoes and own it. Own the emotion, own their fears, own their worries, own their stresses, because how the heck else are you going to understand it from their perspective? Here's the weird part. Now you have to totally cut away, metaphorically remove your soul from that, put them in this exact opposite other side shoes, and now do the exact same thing. Emotionally, mentally, physically, totally get their side. even when they are an exact, boom, black and white contrast. But you cannot help until you can understand from both perspectives. Little side note, one of the hardest times in the world to ever be a decent problem solver is when you're one of the pair of shoes. Because now you can't cut your emotion. You can never tear that tie out of your own heart, your own soul. So you're fighting to put yourself in their shoes and understand and respect. But if they punch, you instantly are drawn back and punching back. It is very good to try to have at least 1 degree of separation if at all possible. But you can do it, and if you are a real small shop, you must do it because you have no other option. But problem solving, that is the very first thing. Seek to understand and get it from all perspectives. I tell you true, once you've done this, you're pretty much done. I mean, we can end this now. Feel free to turn it off and go, okay, I got it. Because the majority of the time, the problem comes from people, they don't feel heard. I wish I could draw an ear. They don't feel heard. Half the time, all they want is to be heard. And they dang sure don't feel understood. Once somebody feels heard, and once they feel understood, their willingness to lose is huge. I will stand here, and on this rock I will die. On this line I will spread the blood of my children. We shall not yield. Once I'm heard and understood, and I feel like the other side, who at the time when we drew such a line was the enemy, we have empathized together, they're no longer just the enemy. And I may or may not be willing to absolutely, completely surrender the border. But I guarantee you, I become extremely willing to share the border. I become extremely willing to give. And if it's inevitable that I'm going to be beaten, crushed, I'm a lot more likely to be beaten, crushed, and just driven back into submission than having to be slaughtered and destroyed. Only because I was heard and I was understood. It's ridiculous how much giving somebody a voice matters. But in problem solving, keep seeking these answers. Now realize, next portion. Realize they can't or won't do this. They either cannot or will not do this. They either cannot or will not try to understand the other person's perspective. Usually it's cannot, but I don't say cannot because that makes you don't tell me what I can't do. So regardless, they're not hearing the other person's side. They don't understand the other person's side. They don't even care about the other person's side. So they, both sides, all 3, all 5, all 10, however many parties are involved, don't see the obvious options. I'm keeping this rather simple today. I'm not trying to get to heavy complex. This will cover 99% of everything you ever have. Seek first to understand, get it from all perspectives. Make sure everybody feels heard and understood. Make sure you heard and understood them. Trust me, you don't need to worry about whether they feel it. If you do it, they'll feel it. Very big fact. I've watched people too many times, I want to make sure that you felt heard and you felt understood and I put value on you. Oh, you pedantic, patronizing SO. Boom. They will hate you. Just do it. People are morons. They will know. If you do it, they will know. Don't try to hide it from them. Trust me, they will know. Very important. It's got to be real, guys. If you're not real, better you offend somebody being real than you try to fake it, because that will always come back and bite and create new problems to solve. Next, realize they cannot and will not do this for each other. If they had, we wouldn't be at this point, or each side's won't. And because of that, they don't see the obvious solutions, or they are scared to bring it up. I.e., simple. You owe me $1,000. I'm willing to sell it for $500. But I can't tell you $500 because then you're going to try to settle for $250, and I can't settle for $250. So I'm scared to even offer something. So I need somebody else coming in, playing, seeing objectives. That's oversimplistic. This usually isn't about money. It's usually about finding what is not known, what is misunderstood. Keeping in mind, 99.999% of the time, it is a misunderstanding of terms/words. One of the simplest, best metaphors in the history of the world was a crappy book on marriages that was called Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. But it was great, and you never need to read it. All you had to read was the title because you got it. And it was a brilliantly stated title, and I bow down to the genius of the guy that came up with it. Now, here's the deal. Majority of the time, what you're seeking to do when you're trying to problem solve is realize that I said potato, you heard apple. You said apple, I heard fish. I don't know why. I don't know why it gets miscommunicated. But it's a truth that it does. And every now and then, it's just somebody else that understands both languages, which is you in this case, helping to follow it through. Now, the way you get here, and I'm going to end now because I could keep doing this realistically for 8 or 9 hours, and I've probably lost half of you already. Here's your simplest, most basic, most perfect solution. If you want to ignore all the rest of this, just like I'm doing, metaphorically erase it and forget everything I said. Here's your simplest answer. You want to solve problems, ask questions. Heck, I'll tell you what, I'm even being arrogant by putting in the and listen. Don't listen, I don't care. You'll be better than almost anybody else out there if you'll just never stop asking questions. You want to know something crazy? You sit down with somebody and you just keep asking questions, and you keep asking questions, you keep asking questions. You want to know something fascinating? They will usually answer it without you doing squat. How do you think therapists work? Let me ask a question that may not be related to anything and sit here and shut up and nod sagely while you talk, and I may or may not even listen or understand. But if I will shut up long enough while you talk, and then maybe I'm paying enough attention to ask a leading question, and then another, believe it or not, I don't need to know squat. You're going to get the answer, and you're going to leave healed. Yay! It's perfect. It's beautiful. Hope this was helpful. If it wasn't, I sure hope it wasn't insulting to anyone. And if you're like, dude, I wanted you to take it to a much deeper level than that simple stuff, tell me and I will do my very best to do that for you as well. Thank you guys. Have a great day.